All I know is Jack used his right hand to shove Brian, and I have no idea where Brian ended up. I did not see him again until he was throwing that rifle.
You're standing down here. And you see what's going on between them.
All I know is Jack used his right hand to shove Brian, and I have no idea where Brian ended up. I did not see him again until he was throwing that rifle.
You're standing down here. And you see this going on between them. I'm having a very difficult time understanding how you don't see it anymore. How do you see it and then not see it?
Because as soon as he shoved Brian, it just went from a simple, everyday, not necessarily everyday, but a routine thing to this crazy ordeal. And I'm not worried about Brian shooting me or an EMT. I'm worried about Jack, and that's who I was watching. I don't know where Brian went after he got shoved. I have no clue how he would have got on the other side of Jack.
These are the things that we're why we're stuck. Do you understand where we're coming from? Because the evidence that we have at the scene isn't lining up with either of you guys' story. The funny thing about it to us is that, when we listen to all of the stories, I don't want to call them stories, just people have different accounts, people have different vantage points. And we understand that. You have a different vantage point. And we know that there's going to be time crunches and stuff because, we talk about that, in the interview, that, you stop and you go back and you kind of relive a point or whatever the case may be. And so that's common in these investigations. One of the things that is not common and that we're really struggling with is that, there is like a complete discrepancy between your stories. Now, I can understand all of the civilians that we interviewed because there were a few that, you remember that line of cars and then they came down. I mean, I showed you the picture. There's people that are out there that are also seeing this happen. Mm-hmm. Their stories and Rowdy's story and Donna's story and your story all kind of line up. The one that is out there is Brian's. The one that's on its own is Brian. And for some reason, this moment, this point, is completely a puzzle to both of you. And it is like we're saying, it's not uncommon to have those little points in your memory that you won't see the same thing as the other sees. But as far as the scene as a whole and where people spatially were, shooting directions and things like that, those are the facts that usually aren't hard for the officer to recover.
I mean, Brian, can I just throw a theory out there and see if you...
I know
you guys have already...
Man, I don't want a theory. I want the truth of what happened in that moment. Because I think Brian grabbed him, pulled him back, and that's what happened. And I can't for the life of me understand why nobody's saying that. Why is everyone else saying that and for some reason you guys aren't saying that?
Because Brian never pulled him back. Brian put himself in between that rifle and those EMTs.
And made contact with him. But then after he makes contact with him, you don't see Brian.
That's not what Brian says. In his interview and his walkthrough, that is not what he says.
Brian says he never made contact with him at all.
Brian says he was never touched by him.
I know what Brian said.
just don't want to see you get caught up in something that you don't have exposure to. You know what I mean? You didn't fire the fatal round. And I think there's some more you should tell us. I mean, I really do.
The reason why the AG and the U.S. Attorney are here is they want to see you become a witness.
I don't understand what you're asking me.
Okay. I don't know how to make it any more clear.
If I saw Brian spin him around, I'm going to make this extremely as clear as I possibly can. I have a wife and a 3.5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. If I saw Brian spin Jack around, there is absolutely no way I would jeopardize my 2 children and my wife to cover with some bullshit lie. I did not see him spin Jack around.
Well, there's my concern, right? Is now that you told a story immediately after, you told your narrative, you told it again, and you did it on the video. Now I'm concerned that you're thinking I can't change, because there's no way out. There is no way out of this. But there is, right?
Like I just said, if I saw him spin Jack around, I would tell you. If I will not cover for anybody, especially when my safety and my future and my children and wife's future are in jeopardy. I have absolutely no reason to cover for somebody. I have every reason to tell you exactly what I saw. Every reason in the world. And I'm telling you what I saw. Right or wrong, it's what I saw.